Hi, this is the next video in the series of solving a 4x4 cube blindfolded. And this video is about solving the edges of the 4x4 blind, and I'm going to be using the R2 method. Enjoy! So, yeah, if you already know the M2 method for 3x3 edges, then this is going to be really easy. And if you don't, then it'll still be pretty easy. The general idea is to use the DFR piece here as the buffer piece, and then you'll be inserting pieces into UBR here. Then you do a R2 slice and then undo the insertion moves. And when you insert into UBR, you can't change any other pieces in the R slice, otherwise it's not going to work. And yeah, this isn't as hard as it sounds really. So I'll show you a few examples. Okay, so here this piece is in the buffer here, and it belongs here on the RFD space. So what we do to insert into here, I want to insert this piece into there. So you can do a U, and that position has moved down to there. Then we do an R and a U prime. And that hasn't changed anything else in this R slice, apart from that piece there. So then you do your inner slice of R2, and you undo the setup moves, and that's how you solve that piece right there. Now you can see that we're an R2 out now, so that'll correct itself when you solve the next piece. And our next piece, which was in there initially, is now in there, and it belongs here. So this is a slightly different insertion. So for this one, we can use the B face. So if we turn the insertion place down to here, and then do an R2, and then B, and we've got it into here. Do your R2, then undo the setup moves, and as you can see, that has solved, and the R2 slice is back where it started. So yeah, so that's the two basic types of insertion that you'll use for all the pieces in the R and L slice. So if you wanted this one, you do U R2 U prime. If you wanted, say, this piece here, you could do a B L B prime. So they're all like that for the R and L slice. There's a full list in the description if you can't figure them all out yourself. So now for the L slice pieces, we've done the R face and the L face. Now we're going to do the L slice, which is those four pieces there. And I do them all very similarly. I just set up to this position here by doing an L slice move. Then I flip this edge over, do the R2, flip the edge back, and undo any extra setup moves. So in my buffer, this piece wants to go to here. So I don't need to do an L slice setup because I am going to here. So I flip this edge here by doing B prime, U, R prime, B, U prime. If you think about it, that has just flipped this edge round and not affected anything else in the R slice. So now I can do R2, and then I just undo what I just did by flipping it back. So U, B prime, R, U prime, B. And I didn't have any setup moves at the start. So I have solved this piece here, you can see. So now the piece in the buffer belongs back here. So I can set up by doing an L slice move up to here, and I do the same thing, flip the edge, do R2, then flip it back, and then undo the setup move. Now you can see that my R slice is back where it started because I've solved two pieces, and I've solved all the pieces in the L slice I needed to. Okay, and now the last set of pieces is the R slice pieces. Obviously we don't care about the buffer because eventually that'll solve. So we've got three others. We'll start with the UBR piece because that's just really trivial. All you do is just do an R2 and then you put that piece in there and you've done your R2 that you need to. So for the last two pieces, which are these two, it becomes clear now why you should think in pairs when you're solving, because you need to know whether your R slice is an R2 out or not. If you're not an R2 out, then you can just shoot to wherever the buffer piece needs to go to. If you're an R2 out, then you have to shoot to the other place. So yeah, basically you just need to learn the algs, which are on the screen now and in the description. But if you want to understand what you're doing, it is just a commutator with setups. Yeah, so here we've got this piece needs to go back to here. We're not an R2 out, so we just do the alg to go to there. So that's the alg for that. Then the piece that was there belonged there, so that's now going to be in our buffer position. So that belongs there, but we're an R2 out, so in fact we have to think that we're going to go to there. So it's exactly the same as the first alg now, because we are just going to there. So we do exactly the same thing. Start with the R2 and do the rest of the alg. And then you solved both of those pieces. Yeah, so you just need to learn those algs. And that's just how you solve all the pieces of the edges. Now the last thing to talk about in the R2 method is parity. As I said earlier, you should be thinking in pairs of pieces so that you know whether you're an R2 slice out or not. Most of the time it doesn't matter, except when you're solving these two pieces here. And the other time it matters is right at the end. So when you're thinking in pairs, sometimes about half the time, you'll find that you only have one piece left to solve. In this case, I just have this piece in the L face to solve. So what you should do, the easiest way to cope with this is just to solve it first. So we do this standard setup, the R2 slice, and do it. So now we don't have another piece to solve. So what we do is, to start parity, we do R2, and that fixes the centers, and it will just leave you with your buffer piece and the UBR piece left to solve. Now you just have to do the parity alg. So you just set up to it by getting it so that you need to solve these two pieces. So you can do D prime, L prime, F. Now we have to solve these two pieces here. So now you do the parity alg, which you might know already from cited 5x5 solving. When you just have two wings left to solve, you would put the two wings on the right hand side on the top or something and do this alg. So you might already know it. In the description, yeah, all the small letters are inner slices, not wide turns. So you do the alg and then undo the setup and it should work. And undo the setup. And you're done with all the edges. So you just need to learn that parity alg, and you'll need to use about half the time. Yeah, that's all for R2 edges. It's very intuitive. There's only a few algs to learn. It's a very easy method. If you want a faster method, you should learn to just use commutators for edges. But I'd say this one is much easier to learn to start with. Thanks for watching.